What's up, government seekers? You're here. You're here. You made it. You made it to the wonderful world of YouTube, where free thought and critical thinking runs free. It's flourishing. It's flourishing. YouTube is just a freedom of speech and critical thinking. It's a hub of those things. What is up, everybody in the chat? Good to see you, everybody. We are streaming on my YouTube and Lee Camp's YouTube. So buckle up. Who called me 15 minutes ago? Hold on. Did I miss something important? All right. We can get to that later. Hold on. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Lee Camp.
I love it's always exciting when I'll get pulled up to the screen. Whoa! I gotta put my pants back on, put my dick away, and yeah.
I like really kind of making it big intros, everyone does big intros. I think it's better to just just push you out on stage.
Well, you always keep it exciting because sometimes you do the big intro. Sometimes it's one of the most insensitive comedians in the world. And other times it's just like, so yeah, I had a coffee and click Lee's on.
Well, that's not true because I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea drinker, so I would never. I would say right. I just had an iced tea. Lee, go.
Lee, go.
Lee, hit it. Go right now.
What was the McLaughlin group? He used to be like, immigration, Eleanor, go.
Yes. Debt ceiling, Lee Camp. Huh? What? All right.
How are you've been down at the strikes? How are those going?
I have been out the strikes. I walked the picket line yesterday at Sony. Friday, I was down at Amazon, and Ron Placone we met down there. It's been really cool. I've interviewed a lot of people on the picket line. I've been trying to go at least twice a week. I'll probably go tomorrow. Usually I live stream around between 11 and 12 Pacific time, and usually live stream for about an hour. And I walk the picket line and talk to people, and I hear great. I learned stuff. I talked to a guy yesterday who was a writer for Deep Space Nine, and he said,
"Did you tell him he could have made it less boring?"
No, I told him I love the show, Lee. I wouldn't say that. How dare you? How dare you, Lee Camp?
I was 16 when I watched one episode, so it's maybe I'm a bit hasty in my judgment.
Yes, Lee, watch Deep Space Nine with more mature eyes, and you will, there's some good stuff in it. I said, I love that show. And he made up this point. He goes, I made more this past year in residuals from Deep Space Nine than a staff writing job on Apple TV that I just wrote for. Because he's saying the streaming services are just deliberately, they're cutting the size of writing room. They're making people not staff members. They're making them 1099. It's what a lot of companies are doing. They don't want to pay full-time workers. So it's
they don't want to pay full-time. Yeah.
But so I get it.
They're like, listen, you only write the participles, and then we'll have someone else do the nouns. Yeah.
And, it's I kind of get it because Apple's a small little company. It's not like they're worth $3 trillion.
It's a different Apple than the one you're thinking of. This one just sells apples.
Yeah.
And, it actually just does Apple and Deep Space Nine.
It's a produce.
You should feel for Apple. People aren't getting as many chargers that don't fit the old phone as they used to.
God, that company. Oh, Alfred Das Leby, thank you for supporting our show. Someone slipped Graham some Kamala Zoot juice. He is strongly optimistic about the U.S. government. Yes.
That sounds like Graham. That sounds like Graham.
That sounds like me for sure. I don't know. I think we might be having a streaming problem for your YouTube. I'm getting that it's not going through on your YouTube.
Is there a way to refresh it or try again, or that's...
I'm doing that. I pressed it. It looks like the broadcast was deleted on YouTube.
Well, we can try it again, or we could just wait till next week. But
well, that's your call.
I can always.
It's your YouTube.
I can always. I can also upload the hour after it's over.
All right, we'll just get fewer people watching, but because it won't be the combined streams, but whatever.
I mean, my YouTube's only shown to 12 people anyway nowadays. So.
All right. Well, then, and since you just said that, let's do Government Secrets with the two most censored comedians, Lee Cap and Crab Elwood, episode 130.
All right. Who's going first?
I feel like I've gone first the last couple of weeks, and I feel like you have a really fun out of the gate.
Okay.
Artificial sweetener in Rumsfeld.
One thing maybe we should be prepped for is, do we know if your computer is going to crash at the end of the hour?
Oh yeah, let's hope. I mean, I've run clean my Mac on it. I've restarted it. Let's hope it doesn't. So
okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if you should talk first because you might dip out 45 minutes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you can just do it solo if I die.
Well, look, it's a long-term plan, honestly, but I've been amassing various AI segments of your face that I can use. So
oh, great.
I love, as if you're going to be the first to go. You're drinking green juice, I'm drinking liquor, and you're like, it's going to be Graham that's going to go first.
You never know. I mean, I live in LA. I could get a stray bullet in the head right now as we're doing this.
Oh, yeah. I live in that utopian peace capital, Baltimore.
The nonviolent super haven of Baltimore.
Yes. It's actually all community policing. It's just on a cycling basis. So everybody gets to be a cop for like a week.
Yeah. And everybody gets a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
All right.
Let's go, buddy. You do it.
Well, let's do it. So this has a recent connection to the news. Just the other day, the WHO declared your favorite chemical sweetener and mine, aspartame, aka equal sweetener and aka NutraSweet, a possible carcinogen. Now, if you Google this, and this is so, there's been a long-term debate on aspartame, and if you Google this, and this goes for months ago, years ago, I did a segment on it like 10 years ago. If you Google this about it being a possible carcinogen, you will probably, the first things you'll find is, neoliberal mainstream media companies saying that it's, they said it's a possible carcinogen, but only if you drink this many milligrams a day, which amounts to like 14 Diet Cokes a day. And other things are carcinogen too, like the sun. The sun's a carcinogen. So, what are we going to do? Just duck from the sun now? So they do say that it would take 12 Diet Cokes a day, but of course that's not counting whether you have aspartame in many other products than just Diet Coke. It is in myriad of shitty products. But
that's literally what that argument is that's the, guns don't kill people, people kill people. So it's great that everyone's got 10,000 guns. It's just like, oh, right. Yeah.
It's like, it likely wouldn't kill you. So what are we going to do? Not eat the things that'll kill us? Yeah. But it goes much beyond this 12, 14 Cokes a day thing. What they won't tell you is that aspartame is much worse than that. It's been various people and studies and things have shown it's much worse than that. And also it involves Donald Rumsfeld. So all of those things are horrible.
Shouldn't we just, when there's something awful, just assume Rumsfeld is in there somehow, just somehow connected to it? Just
well. See, this is the beauty of Donald Rumsfeld, because it means that maybe, unlike Kissinger, Rumsfeld is still killing people. Like, unlike so many war criminals, in the grave, he's able to keep offing fellow humans.
But I gotta believe Kissinger has some sort of island where he just ships in homeless people and he hunts them. You know what I mean? Like that he.
Yeah, but so when he dies, which will be about 45 years from now,
when he's 170, sure.
Will he keep killing people after that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Over under is yes. So here's from our favorite liberal outlet, my favorite liberal outlet and yours, Wikipedia. I wanted to just give people the quick history of aspartame because it sounds so delectable. It sounds like something you just want to, nummy numbers. You just want to scoop it up. Aspartame was discovered in 1965 by James Schlatter, a chemist working for G.D. Searle and Company. Schlatter had synthesized aspartame as an intermediate step in generating a tetrapeptide of the hormone gastrin for use as an anti-ulcer drug candidate. He discovered the sweet taste when his lab somehow got contaminated. He licked his finger and noticed it was sweet.
Oh God. Oh dear Lord.
This is the origin of aspartame.
It sounds like, isn't this the origin of how the Nazis discovered meth? Like, oh, that tastes good. And I want my teeth, and I want to dig a hole and have my teeth rot out.
This is the origin of everything good in human history, is someone licked their finger at an inopportune time.
All right.
Graham, on my end, you're already getting choppy.
Really?
Maybe turn off the scroll. Might help.
Hold on. All right. I'll turn off hold on a sec. Does that improve it at all?
So far, it is better.
All right.
So yeah, licked his finger during chemical testing. Ding. So then he goes, "Oh, it's sweet. Let's sell this to people."
I love that. Just, I don't know if that's naive or just complete cynicism. Like, Americans are dumb. As long as it's sweet, they'll eat it. You know, just sounds good.
Yeah. Someone saying, replace your video with a still frame of your face. I don't know if I'd find that as entertaining.
All right, this seems like it's working.
Monsanto bought G.D. Searle, then created a subsidiary called NutraSweet, aka Equal Sweetener. And I didn't know this. So you might not have known that for many years, when you have had Equal Sweetener, you are eating a packet of Monsanto.
Oh, great. Of course.
Delish.
Somewhere in there being evil.
Since then, the G.D. Searle was sold, but to Pfizer, but we'll maybe mention that again later. So here's from an article in the Huffington Post. Now, this is a few years ago. This is before it was just declared carcinogenic. But as you can see, there's many reasons to be skeptical even before that. Dr. John Olney, who founded the field of neuroscience called excitotoxicity, attempted to stop the approval of aspartame with attorney James Turner back in 1996. The FDA's own toxicologist, Dr. Adrian Gross, told Congress that without a shadow of a doubt, aspartame can cause brain tumors and brain cancer, and that it violated the Delaney Amendment, which forbids putting anything in food that is known to cause cancer. According to top doctors and researchers on the issue, aspartame causes headache, memory loss, seizures, vision loss, coma, and cancer. Not things
tastes great.
But during that coma, you are having fantasies of sweet, sweet food.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious
You're in a coma. You're in a food coma. You have tumors growing the size of grapefruit, but you're thinking you're living in Candyland, where everything just is made of pudding.
It worsens or mimics the symptoms of such diseases and conditions as fibromyalgia, MS, lupus, ADD, diabetes, Alzheimer's, chronic fatigue, and depression. Further dangers highlighted is that aspartame liberates free methyl alcohol. The resulting chronic methanol poisoning affects the dopamine system of the brain, causing addiction. Methanol, or wood alcohol, constitutes 1/3 of the aspartame molecule and is classified as a severe metabolic poison and narcotic. So there's that.
Other than those things, though, it's great, right? Is that what I'm hearing? It's pretty awesome.
Other than those things, you will just shed pounds. If all you do is eat aspartame, you will be a skinny, seizure-having coma patient.
Lee, I'm on the new fibromyalgia diet. It's really awesome. It's really. Oh my God.
In a peer-reviewed journal, Aspartame, Methanol, and the Public Health, Dr. Woodrow Monte wrote, when diet sodas and soft drinks sweetened with aspartame are used to replace fluid loss during exercise, the intake of methanol can exceed 250 milligrams a day, 32 times the EPA's recommended limit of consumption for this cumulative poison. So if you're very thirsty, don't drink Diet Coke.
Wow.
The effects of aspartame are documented by the FDA's own data. In 1995, the agency was forced under the Freedom of Information Act to release a list of aspartame symptoms reported by thousands of victims. From the 10,000 consumer complaints, 10,000, the FDA compiled a list of 92 symptoms, one of them being death. Dr. Betty Martini, the founder of Mission Possible International, works with doctors around the world in an effort to remove aspartame. According to Martini, and yes, I'm troubled by her name as much as you are. According to Dr. Martini, aspartame has brought more complaints to the FDA than any other additive and is responsible for 75% of such complaints to the agency. More recently, the EPA found aspartame to be a potentially dangerous chemical. Martini says NutraSweet is a deadly neurotoxic drug masquerading as an additive. It interacts with a load of things. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but it's a chemical hypersensitization drug so that it interacts with vaccines, other toxins, other unsafe sweeteners like Splenda, which has a chlorinated base like DDT and can cause autoimmune disease. The FDA has known this for a quarter of a century and done nothing. We've reached the point where Graham goes silent.
It's like the list of awful things. You've been reading a list of awful things for 5 minutes straight, Lee. Like it's just been like this. It's not.
I didn't want to leave anything out.
It's not a criticism of you. It's showing how awful aspartame is, that you just have to keep reading it's like the credits at the end of a movie, just like it causes this. It's a diet, it's a nootropic, it's just murders. Like it's unbelievable.
But Diet Coke is pretty good.
Pretty good.
And of course we're mentioning Diet Coke, but it's in loads of shit. It's in tons of things. In 1985, Monsanto purchased G.D. Searle, that held the patent for aspartame. Monsanto was apparently untroubled by aspartame's clouded past. Of course, why would they? They were pumping cancer into everyone around the nation. Why would they have a problem?
That's like bread and butter. Like they're just like, oh, do you have a product that doesn't cause cancer? I don't know that we want to be a part of that.
Right. They were like, yeah, this is totally fine. Let's see. They were apparently also untroubled by the report of a 1980 FDA Board of Inquiry comprised of 3 independent scientists which confirmed that it might induce brain tumors. The FDA had previously banned aspartame based on its finding, only to have the Searle chairman vow to get it approved. And that J.D. Searle chairman, you might know his name, was a Mr. Donald Rumsfeld.
Oh, yes, our boy Rumsey is in the mix here.
Had to get in the mix. Ronald Reagan was sworn in as president on January 21st, 1981. Rumsfeld, while still CEO at J.D. Searle, so he was currently CEO of this chemical company, was part of Reagan's transition team. This team handpicked Dr. Arthur Hayes to be the new FDA commissioner. Dr. Hayes, a pharmacologist, had no previous experience with food additives at all. On January 21st, 1981, January 22nd, I guess, the day after Reagan's inauguration, Reagan issued an executive order eliminating the FDA commissioner's authority to take action, and Searle then reapplied to the FDA. They'd already rejected it for approval for aspartame as a food sweetener. Hayes, Reagan's new FDA commissioner, appointed a 5-person scientific commission to review the Board of Inquiry's decision. It soon became clear that the panel would uphold the ban by a 3-2 decision. So, Graham, are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, your video chopped out for a minute.
Might be Donald Rumsfeld. He put aspartame into the live stream.
It might be. So they decided 3-2 to uphold the ban, meaning it would have still been banned. Aspartame would have. Now, I want to ask you this, Graham. Do you think they accepted the decision and said, well, that is democracy. This is a beautiful system, and it works?
Yes, of course that's what happened. What else? That's how America functions. Democracy wins out in the end. Freedom and truth, and the bad people are punished, and that's how it always works, right?
Absolutely. Never a thought in their mind. No, instead.
Has this show taught you nothing, Lee Camp?
Instead of accept the 3-2 ban of aspartame, Hayes installed a 6th member on the commission, and the vote became deadlocked, which meant he got to cast the tie, the break the tie vote. He just grabbed me off the street, like, here's the 6th member. We just found him.
We got a hung jury. No. We just added another jury member. He just walked in and he's all good. Like it's just like
yeah. This guy, she's my aunt. She's voting now.
We talked about this before on the show, how these guys do this stuff that's so blatantly corrupt, and it's in my opinion, it's worse than just coming in and going, we're killing this review board and just making a decision, but we're adding a 6th guy. Like, who do they think they're fooling? Like, where is the lot? Like, just come out and go, I'm corrupt. I'm stealing this. I'm taking this from you, rather than like, well, I don't know. I mean, your wallet just happened to make it into my hands. And then I went into my bank account and we voted on it. And it was a bunch of guys with the Graham Elwood Needs Lee's Wallet Fund. And they all decided that this is how it works. And they all agree. It's like, it's a form of insanity and gaslighting that only America can provide.
Yeah, absolutely. That's our system in a nutshell. So let's see. One of Hayes's first official acts as FDA chief was to approve the use of aspartame as an artificial sweetener in dry goods on July 18th, 1981. So at first it was just in dry food. In order to accomplish this feat, he had to overlook the scuttled grand jury investigation of G.D. Searle, overcome the Bressler report, ignore the PBOI's recommendations, and pretend aspartame did not chronically sicken and kill thousands of lab animals. Hayes left his post at the FDA in November 1983 amid accusations he was accepting corporate gifts. What? For political favors. Just before leaving office in scandal, Hayes did one last thing. You know, it was his last day, Graham. Do you think he thought better leave any further decisions to the next guy? Because I am under suspicion. I should just go quietly.
No, he put aspartame in every kid's stocking on Christmas.
Exactly. He approved the use of aspartame in beverages on his final day. After Hayes left the FDA, he took a position as a high-paid senior medical advisor with Burson Marsteller, the chief public relations firm for both Monsanto and G.D. Searle. Here's the kicker. When Searle was absorbed by Monsanto in 1985, Donald Rumsfeld reportedly received a $12 million bonus. Pretty good money for that time. It appears we've lost Graham, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this up while he tries to reconnect. In early 2003, Pfizer acquired J.D. Searle. So now Equal Sweetener is a little packet of Pfizer because that's better than a packet of Monsanto. And then, as a coincidence, just last week, I was reading an article on who funds ALEC. You all probably know ALEC, A-L-E-C, not Alec Baldwin, who has also had some issues, but ALEC, of course, is this right-wing fucking organization that puts forward all these bills across America that just destroy anything that you would view as just or right in the world. And it turns out the third highest funder of ALEC is Searle Freedom Trust, which contributed $1.7 million between 2017 and 2021 to ALEC. The trust's wealth stems from G.D. Searle, the pharmaceutical company known for producing NutraSweet / aspartame. So by selling to us this chemical that is sickening and harming people, they got really rich so that they could then pay an organization like ALEC to corrupt the entirety of the U.S., states and judicial systems and everything else. So really just aspartame has just been working at all levels. It has fucked up our internal systems as humans, but then it's also fucked up our internal system of government in the United States. Not that the U.S. government was, unfucked. It was not virginal. It was not chaste before before aspartame showed up. But anyway, there it is, folks. The history of aspartame involving Donald Rumsfeld and many other greatest hits like Ronald Reagan. I'm hoping Graham comes back at some point. For those of you who don't know, we've been having issues with Graham's internet connection for a couple of weeks now. And I'm just going to sit here and chit chat. Wouldn't it be nice if this had happened, 10 minutes ago when I could just keep going through my government secret? But instead, stuck here. Actually, this is a perfect time to promote, is what I'll do. I'll spend this time promoting. I have my first ever live Zoom global stand-up show. I'm doing a stand-up comedy show. I'm doing it as a Green Party fundraiser. They've asked me to do it, and I said, why the hell not? So that's this Saturday. It starts at 8 p.m. if you want to be part of the meet and greet, but the show starts at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find it at gp.org, which is their website, Green Party's website. Let me find the link, and I'll give you the full link. gp.org/fundraiser with _Lee_camp, because that's an easy link to. Oh, I can't actually put in the chat because I'm not joining. I'm not in the chat. Anyway, if you Google Lee Camp Green Party fundraiser August 5th, you can be part of that if you want. Like I said, all new material, first stand-up comedy global Zoom show I've ever done. And my first, brand new 45-minute stand-up set in God knows how many years, several years. So check that out. And the other thing is, what was I gonna say? Of course, I'm running a literal rock that I found in my yard for U.S. president. That's at yardrock2024.com because it's better than all the corporate candidates. And Graham seems to be back for the moment.
Hey,
I'm going to keep chatting as if I'm not filling time. And he's frozen again, folks. That was it. That's all you get from Graham is one laugh. One beautiful, hysterical laugh. Oh, man. This sucks. This sucks, man. All right. Well, I'm assuming we'll have to wrap up here if we can't have Graham for more than 2 seconds at a time. Here's the thing. He's going to do the next half hour, but it's going to be 2 seconds at a time with 3-minute breaks between each 2 seconds. So it'll last roughly 24 hours. So everybody just hang in there. This is going to be a rocky one.
Yeah.
Annabelle asking now I'm just answering questions from the crowd. Annabelle is asking whether I'll ever tour Australia. I actually did tour Australia once, but it was a long time ago. It was before Redacted Tonight. I played Sydney and Brisbane, and I had a goddamn blast, and it was wonderful. But that's been a long time, and I don't know when I'll get back to Australia. It would be nice, though. So Graham is now back, but frozen again. People act like there's a climate crisis, like it's global warming, and yet Graham is frozen all the time. It's like stupid.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you, man.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is that good? Am I back?
I can hear you now. Would it help if I turn off my camera? Does that do anything?
Yeah, let's blame it on yours tech.
Well, no, but I thought even though it's not my tech, I thought maybe it would your computer would have less to work on. I don't actually know how electronics and internet works, so I don't know whether this helps at all. You're frozen again. Damn it, man. All right, folks. I think we're going to have to call this one. I don't know if we're going over to Patreon because we can't get Graham, so it'd be kind of silly. Someone in the comments says my mother's a judge. No, my mother's not a judge. There is some ridiculous Wikipedia thing claiming my mother's a judge. My mother is a social worker who in Richmond, Virginia. She's been a social worker her entire adult life, and has never been a judge. But she did. My mother actually a few weeks ago did contact me and go, Lee's mother is Laura Camp. Her name's not Laura. Is Laura Camp a judge? And she was like, what is this? As if I had told the idiots who write Wikipedia to put the wrong mother in there. Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
How you
Can
doing?
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're still a little glitchy.
All right. I'm going to shut my camera off, see if that helps. Is that better? Can you just hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, fine.
All right. I'll just shut my camera off. Clearly, that's probably the problem. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. My computer's about 3, coming up on 4 years old. And that's usually when my laptops start acquiring a meth problem. So
do your other live streams all work fine?
Yeah, but I'm not bringing somebody else in usually. Although I just did one with Ron last week that wasn't a problem. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I do have a big face.
I think that's it. That's probably taking up too much space as your face. I mean, I don't want to be paranoid, but I have a hard time believing that some of these tech issues aren't somebody else doing this to me. I really, it's.
Well, Graham, get a new air-gapped computer and never use it.
For anything.
For anything.
Other than live streaming, but they can get it in, they can infiltrate them that way because we're.
Yeah, no, don't use it for live streaming. Just hold it and sing to it.
That'll make for great live streaming. Well, all right, I'll do my segment.
So since I have my camera on and you don't, as you talk, I will go like this. So we can pretend it's you talking.
Yeah, we'll make it like one of those Hong Kong kung fu movies from the 70s.
Yeah.
So we will do what is it? Where was that? All right. What was it? Olympic. I say live.
No, now even the sound is getting a little glitchy.
Really? The sound is glitchy?
Yeah, I can still hear you though, so maybe we try.
All right. So I want to do, this is Government Secret segment number 2, Graham Under Wraps. This was, I wanted to talk about, I just typed in Olympic pipeline. Right now I just typed in pipeline explosion and then Olympic,
I was going to say, why would
explosion.
you type in Olympic pipeline? Okay.
I typed in pipeline explosion just to see what fun ones I could find. And I found the Olympic pipeline explosion, which happened on June 10th, 1999. But what's more important is I'll tell you what happened. So basically, the Olympic Pipeline Company ran a network of fuel pipes beginning at refineries in Whatcom County and Anacortes and running south to Seattle and Portland. In 1999, the pipeline was owned and operated by Quillian, a joint venture between Shell Oil and Texaco.
Boy, that's just like, Satan and fucking Hellboy getting together.
It's literally like Bane and Lex Luthor are starting a company.
Lex Luthor and Jeff Bezos together.
Jeff Bezos. It's a joint venture between every supervillain that's ever existed. So that was the fun-loving peace connection that made this. So it exploded on June 10th, 1999 in Whatcom Falls Park in Bellingham, Washington. So as I said, it was a pipeline that was going between Seattle and Portland.
And it was not, just to clarify, it was not meant to explode. It was not an explosion pipeline.
No,
Okay.
that was weird. Yeah, that didn't say we're going to build this pipeline and they announced to the public. And at any point, it might just blow up because we're going to put. Yeah, they didn't plan it, but Lee.
Okay.
We're going to find out here in a second that I know this is going to shock you. It could have been avoided. So here's what happened. The disaster started at 3:25 p.m. Pacific time when a mostly underground gasoline pipeline that crossed Watacom and Hana Creeks ruptured due to various errors and malfunctions on the part of the Olympic pipeline and others. The gasoline vapors exploded at 5:02 Pacific time, sending a fireball down Watacom Creek. 3 people died in the incident. So
people looking out their windows being like, is that a fireball coming down the creek? Because I don't did you hear anything about they were going to send fireballs down the creek? Or
I was going to go fishing today, but then a fireball came down the creek.
But now all the fish are pre-cooked. So that's amazing.
There is nothing like lake trout that's been fireballed. I mean, it is so good. You put a little lemon on there. It's fantastic. So the disaster began as Olympic Pipeline was transporting gasoline from Cherry Point Refinery to terminals in Seattle and Portland, Oregon. A pressure relief valve that was improperly configured. Again, this is Wikipedia. Feels like it has some corporate whitewashing in this wording. The pressure relief valve was improperly configured and it failed to open in the 16-inch pipeline that we said was buried underneath the ground, which resulted in a surge of pressure after an automatic valve shut for unknown reasons. Which, I mean, it's like that in the trailer Oppenheimer, where he's like, Matt Damon says to Oppenheimer, he's like, so this won't be bad. He goes, there's a 99% chance it won't happen. He goes,
well,
yeah.
well, hold on. We should back up because I love this. I love this fact. They thought there was a tiny fraction of a chance that when they tested the first nuclear bomb, it would ignite the world's atmosphere and the explosion would never stop.
Yeah.
Like they were like, there's a 0.1% chance we light all of humanity and the globe and everything on fire. And they went forward with it anyway.
And they went for it anyway. So to a much smaller degree, this pipeline's like a bunch of things could go wrong with this pipeline, but they probably won't, was probably how it was sold.
Yeah, and for those wondering, every pipeline leaks. Now, not everyone explodes, but everyone leaks. So the idea that something's going to go wrong with a pipeline is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. It's going to happen. So when the valve shut for unknown reasons, this resulted in a line rupturing at 3:25 in the afternoon, and gasoline began spilling into Hana Creek just above its confluence with Watcom Creek. As the gasoline continued to spill, many people in the area called 911 to report the gasoline smell. And an Olympic pipeline employee who was in the area called the company to inquire whether they had an anomaly. Hey.
Anomaly.
Hey, FYI, guys. This is Mike. I'm down at the Watcom pipeline, and all the fish are dying, and it smells like gasoline. Is that a good thing, bad thing? Just kind of getting a heads up here.
Yeah. All of the fish in the creek are cooked. Now, is that a seasonal thing, or I just thought I'd check with you all.
I'm new to the area. Is this some different type of fishing tactic? That's not how we fish, but I'm not judging it.
Look, I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
Like, just asking. When the Bellingham Fire Department arrived, massive amounts of gasoline had turned the creek pink, and fumes were overwhelming. The fire department notified Olympic Pipeline of the leak and evacuated the area around the the creek. The gasoline then, so now all this gasoline leaked out. The creek was pink, according to the fire department. The gasoline exploded at 5:02 p.m. The black smoke plume extended to an altitude of 3,000 feet. 30,000 feet. It went as high as an airplane.
What?
Yeah. So 30,000 feet, not that big of a deal. And the explosion was visible from Vancouver to Anacortes. The fire exceeded 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Local businesses were evacuated. Interstate 5, which connects Seattle and Portland. Literally, you can take Interstate 5 from Canada down to Mexico, right? It is the biggest freeway on the West Coast. Parts of it were closed.
And they changed the name of the town to What a Boom.
Fireball Creek was now known throughout the land. Interstate 5 was closed to traffic, and the Coast Guard stopped maritime traffic in Bellingham Bay in anticipation of the fire traveling the entire length of the creek. However,
fire traveling the length of the creek.
But Lee, it didn't. It never extended past Interstate 5. It just shut down.
That's good. That's good to hear.
One of the biggest freeways in the country. That just shut that down.
Hey, folks, only a half mile of the creek were on fire, so it wasn't. It's not like people are making it out like it was a big deal.
Not a big deal. Emergency responders stopped most of the fires by 6:30 p.m. The smoke dissipated by 7. So just 30,000 feet of smoke for 2 hours. That's all. Not a big deal. 3 people died in the incident. The first was Liam Wood, 18, who was fly fishing in the creek. He was rendered unconscious by the fumes and fell into the creek, drowning before the explosion.
It's a poor choice. Everyone always tells you do not fly fish on a creek before it explodes. Everyone has told you that.
Yeah. Now, I had a creek near me growing up in Madison, Wisconsin, and we used to play it in all the time, which is why this part of the story is really heartbreaking, because 2 children, Wade King and Stefan Tzoris, both 10 years old, were playing near the creek during the explosion. Both survived the blast, but sustained severe burns, and they died the next day. Right? So,
Graham, would you rather have those kids alive and give up progress?
Yeah, I know. You're right. Look, you got to kill a few kids for gas profits, I guess.
You got to kill a few kids for us to enjoy being able to run our air conditioner in the winter.
Yes, exactly. There were 8 related injuries. Wade King's parents donated $400,000 to the Bellingham School District, and in 2007, Wade King Elementary School was named in memory of Wade King. Property damage was estimated at $58 million.
Hold on, which one was Wade King?
Wade King was one of the children that died. And
his name was Wade King, and he was wading in the water when he died from fire. Yep. And his name was Wade King. I refuse to believe that.
That's the truth. And they named a school after him.
Graham, I'm not okay with
it. So there was $58 million in damage. 1 house was completely destroyed. The city's water treatment plant near the explosion site.
They were like, we can't filter out fire.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too with pipelines is they blow up, they contaminate our water supply. Listen to this. The rupture allowed 277,000 gallons of gasoline to escape into the creek bed. Bellingham water treatment personnel were forced to manually add water treatment chemicals to keep the water supply safe until the plant could be rebuilt. Authorities all noted the destruction and death toll were much lower than what could have been expected. Oh, good news. I'm sure that was solace to the parents of those 2 kids.
Dude, that's insane. It's like, sure, we killed a few folks. We set the creek on fire. We contaminated the entire creek, but we got off easy.
Yeah. Hey, glass half full, guys. Glass half full.
Glass of fire water half full.
Glass. Oh, and then there was an investigation. After a 3-year investigation, investigators pointed to a series of failures. Oh, you think? Not just a single error, most of which were the fault of Olympic Pipeline. Olympic Pipeline had failed to properly train employees, had to contend with a faulty computer, the SCADA system and pressure relief valve. In 1994, 5 years before the accident, an MICO construction crew working on behalf of the city of Bellingham damaged the pipeline while constructing the city's water treatment plant and failed to notify officials about the damage. Subsequently, Olympic Pipeline.
It's almost as if this company, this corporation, if you will, is only out for profit, and they don't seem to. I'm still kind of coming to terms with it, but they don't seem to care about the lives that are trampled on as they seek said profit.
I don't know, Lee. That sounds like a crazy conclusion to come true in the land of America, where freedom and truth, and there's this great system of checks and balances to keep corporate greed in check.
True.
So I don't know how you come to that conclusion. You're just kind of a negative Nancy, I feel like.
I'm being a bit of a negative Nancy. I don't understand like what else they were in the quest for other than profit.
They wanted to kill as many fish as possible. So this is the Olympic, Aquilion, and several employees faced a 7-count indictment after the investigation. The companies pleaded guilty to several of the charges, leading to a $112 million settlement, a record at the time. This was the first conviction against a pipeline company under the 1979 Hazardous Liquid Pipeline Safety Act. So I guess there is a little bit of a silver lining. Actually, a lot of times we do these stories and like no one's prosecuted and they had to pay a $14 fine, So
that's true.
There's some silver lining in that. The Whatcom Falls Park in 2020 describes much of the area around the creek as sensitive due to hazard trees and forest recovery from the 1999 explosion. So 20 years later, it's still not completely healthy or safe. And that is...
there's a deer walking around with 3 legs who's like, and I'm still here.
Yeah. It's like, all it's going to take is, one lightning storm or one errant bottle rocket from a kid or something like that. And just boom, it's all going to blow up again. So.
And this is why they call them water protectors when they don't want pipelines.
Yeah. So people died. It caused $58 million in damage, ruined people's homes. It has contaminated the water supply. And even to this day, and this is Wikipedia. I'm sure we could go and find other studies done showing what other health risks have come out of this over the last 20 years from the people. This is my question, is there a cancer cluster near this? Because that happens a lot with these water spills. Is there a cancer cluster? Is there all sorts of things? It's really like, It's why there's no reason to have these pipelines. We need to be up. There's another in the long list of why reasons we need to be off of fossil fuels. Like, it's crazy. So that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
But we have another segment, which Graham's face will continue to be hidden from, but it will still be excellent. Over at patreon.com/government secrets, we always do an extra segment for the Patreon members over there. And the moment you sign up at patreon.com/government secrets, you will open up all 35 or something, extra segments. And, we hope you do that because that keeps the show going.
Yes, and I just want to announce as many of you saw, my super chat and my monetization is back on. After 2.5 years of being demonetized, it is back. Thank you to Alfred Das Liebe, who did a couple of super chats today, and anybody else. YouTube now has a feature where you can do a super thanks, which is, it doesn't have to be during a live stream. You can just do it on the video. So you're supporting my channel when you do that. And also go to grahamelwood.com, sign up for the newsletter. I send out maybe one a month at the most, sometimes every 6 weeks or whatever. And then again, like Lee said, go to patreon.com/government secrets. We'll be over there in a couple of minutes, and you get access to over 30 some bonus segments.
And as I mentioned earlier, when Graham was gone from the live stream, I have a live stand-up Zoom show as a Green Party fundraiser. Graham, I think you did it one year as well.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm doing it Saturday. And I can't throw the link into the chat, but if you Google Green Party Lee Camp August 5th, you should find it, I believe. So.
Right on. I did that a couple of years ago. It's a lot of fun. You're raising money for the Green Party, which this year it's more critical than ever with Dr. West running. He, we could really move the needle with him and the Green Party, get Green Party on all 50 ballots, which is critical.
And someone is asking in the chat whether I'm raising money for the rock that I'm running for president that I found in my yard. There is a website, yardrock2024.com. There is no way to donate to the said rock. However, there is some merch over there for the rock, and 50% of all proceeds go to eliminate medical debt for struggling Americans.
Right on. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening to me since I've been shadow banned on my own home.
I feel like currently, as you're seeing on the screen, the haircut's a little tight.
It is a little tight, very tight. And then tune in my show. I'll be live again a couple days a week. I go live from a SAG-AFTRA picket line, and I interview people walking the picket line. So check that out. This has been Government Secrets episode 130. Rumsfeld, sweetener, and oh, those delicious pipelines. Ep 130 in the books.
See you in a minute.
All right, buddy. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you over there.